Good morning and welcome to Essential Ingredients. I'm Justine Reichring, your host. And today we have here Sara Simmonds, who I'm really excited to introduce you to. We met here.
Hi, Justine. It's so lovely
Sarah.
to be with you guys today. Sending you all love from London.
Show us. Choose love.
Choose love. Yes, you'll hear more about this t-shirt later. When we're talking about the conscious fashion, there's a story behind it.
I love that. Can't wait. So for our listeners here, for those of you that don't know, I met Sara on Instagram, believe it or not. With everything going on in COVID, so many of us are connecting through a variety of channels. And Sara was having a chat on Instagram, I think live, with one of the people we had on one of our talks, on one of our table talks, who has a company called Yes. And she is really involved. Remind me her name. Oh my God, I'm having a brain freeze at this moment. Marcy Zaroff, exactly. Love her. She started her career in food and then went to fashion. And it seems like a natural fit to have a conversation with you. It was a natural fit to have a conversation with us, but I found you through her because she had posted that she was connecting with you. So I was super excited to connect with you because you're super conscious about building mindful companies and having an impact, and your thoughtfulness around sustainability and building sustainable companies is really what resonated with me. So I'd love you to just tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind, and share your story.
Sure, and of course, a pleasure. So my background is in the fashion industry. I worked as one of the world's top fashion buyers for one of the world's top stores for many years. That store is a department store in London called Harvey Nichols. And that's where I began my career. After growing up, I was the daughter of a textile entrepreneur. And my father had a textile company in Yorkshire, which was where all the manufacturing was done. And I really grew up understanding and loving the power and the impact, the positive impact that what we make can do for the world. So I pursued my dream to be a fashion buyer, and I worked in this department store, Harvey Nichols, for 7 years. I was going all over the world, visiting the world's top showrooms to buy the world's top luxury brands for the world's top consumers. And I loved that job. I was fulfilling my dream until over the last year or two, this is about 15 years ago, I really began to notice the very beginnings of a change in how we consume, as the industries and the cycle of what we buy was getting faster and faster. And that was in the luxury industry, the luxury fashion industry. And I began to ask myself the question, what's the difference between luxury and fast fashion? And I was seeing each season more and more products. I was seeing people marketing those products the same thing, the same time and time again each season, even though it was practically the same product. And I was seeing countries of manufacturing change and the quality of the clothes go down. This really did not connect well to my heart. And I knew that I wanted to make a difference in fashion and in impact and in how we buy and what we buy. So at that time, I had built a framework for building award-winning fashion buying strategies. I call it my hero product framework. And so I said, okay, you know what? I don't know how to be an entrepreneur, but I do know how to build award-winning product strategies. So I'm going to take that framework and I'm going to jump out of Harvey Nichols and my career and become an impact entrepreneur.
I love that. And now you're not just building hero product frameworks, you are an entrepreneur, even though you said you didn't know how to be one.
Absolutely. Yes. 15 years later, I've been an award-winning entrepreneur and built multiple successful impact businesses.
Can you share a story about one of the successful stories that you've had with one of your clients? You don't have to necessarily share a brand or a name, but maybe the impact it's had for them?
Yes. So Well, I've done two things. I have built award-winning conscious brands, and I coach other people how to build award-winning conscious brands and businesses. So with my own businesses, the success and the impact that they've had is because of having frameworks to follow. I was able to shortcut building really like pioneering brands in a fast amount of time. So when you're making something that's really innovative, you know, in the food industry, in the fashion industry, it's really important to use a framework for product success in order to shortcut how you can actually succeed. So I did that by making a luxury sustainable jeans brand, which was called Sharkah Chakra. And because of the frameworks, I got that into the world's best stores in less than 12 months.
Wow. So can you walk us through that a little bit? You know, what's the framework look like? Can you share with us a little bit about the framework and how it shortcuts it for you? What would it look like without that framework? And what does it look like with that framework?
Sure. So basically, right now, guys, is the most incredible time to make innovation in everything that we are making in the world, because customers want something different, but the framework stands by that when you're making something different, you also have to follow a pattern where everything is the same. Sort of, you take people on a familiar journey with that new innovation. So I wanted to make a brand new pair of jeans in the sense of made in a completely new, organic, sustainable, and handcrafted way, an item that was beginning to end sustainable. So the frameworks helped me because you first have to, when you're building any successful business, you have to look at what's unique about you and your really, I call it your unique power. So a pair of jeans and innovation, how can I make a pair of jeans unique? I asked myself. So when I wanted to make something sustainable, and then by understanding that you focus on what's most unique about that item, I then looked at the roadmap of how something is made from the ground up, and I built a completely unique, sustainable manufacturing method. Then the second part of the roadmap and the framework is that you need to be where the market is. So, you know, if you're innovating like a brand new food product or a brand new fashion product, you need to make it in some way familiar to your clients and to the world so that you can build success around that. So I took a unique sustainable manufacturing method and then I put it into a classic item, a pair of jeans with an amazing fit and an amazing styling and an amazing branding. So it was something totally new and different in a product that people would know. Then the next part of the framework is that you have to really look at your story. And I always coach people that you have to pull out a narrative that's something that's very like one sentence and one word that everybody can identify with you, and then build a story on that one thing that builds you. Not 10 things, not 5 things, one hero part of your product, your brand story.
Sara, can you share with us what that one thing would have been, maybe with regards to these jeans?
Yes, that they are handmade. So the whole story behind the jeans was building a story that it's about people and it's about handmade and it's about all the hands that go into the creation of that item.
I love that. So it's personal and people can really get into that. I can visualize the people making them.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, the visualization, because I shared the words with you of handmade, you can already imagine the story behind that. And that's the power of when you've really gone through the process to understand what your brand is in the heart of its DNA.
Yeah, and it sounds really it sounds special. It sounds elevated. It sounds like it was made for me.
Yes.
Not in a factory, which to me is special and something I would prefer.
Yes.
So wonderful. I love that. And so can we just take this back for a minute to how this has impacted you on a personal level in being able to build your coaching business?
Yeah, I think we can even digress a little bit to how this has impacted me on a personal level, because the
Perfect.
thing about the framework is it's all about unlocking my hero product framework. The first step is all about unlocking what's unique about you, and then what is your purpose, what's your mission, and what's your real brand story. So what I found, that's 3 parts of the process. Now, what I found in my own actual life was that I started to really question myself. What's unique about me? What's my real purpose? And what's my real brand story? And this led me to, I call it unlock your real power, because once you understand what's unique about you as a founder, as well as your brand, and then what's your real purpose and what's your real brand story, you can come to the world from a totally different place. Your true sense of authenticity shines through when you've aligned those 3 things, which actually then can transform your whole life, because we all live unconsciously and have been living unconsciously, where society and the messages that we have been receiving from all different directions is to be the same, aspire to the same things, live in the same way. When actually we follow our hearts and we go through the process to unlock what's unique about ourselves, then we can start living our true selves. And for me, the impact that had was like 360. It changed my life in every way. Most of all, I think it gave me the confidence and the comfort to be my real self. And so that meant, like, you know, almost shedding like unhealthy friendships, old friendships, limiting beliefs that hold you back, shedding trying to be anything other than you are, and actually really having the clarity on who I actually was. So when you have that just in how you operate every day, you operate with a much deeper sense of wholeness, purpose, and confidence, which, you know, as they say, life is in the present moment. We only have this moment together. And when you're totally aligned to who you really are, you can be so much more present, and then all sorts of magical, new, amazing opportunities open up to you. So that's how this process transformed my life.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. It really resonates with me, because I also feel like when I am doing what I love, when I do what I am passionate about, it's easier. And I don't mean easier like less work. I mean, it's the work, it just doesn't bog me down. I'm excited about the work. There's a different sense of achievement. It doesn't feel like I don't want to do it. I'm excited to do it. I can't wait to accomplish it. I'm always trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. I want to have an impact, and I want to figure it all out together. And so this really resonates for me, because, and I always say, you know, I support purpose-driven businesses. And I'm a purpose-driven business because I'm passionate about making healthy food more accessible. I'm passionate about connecting the right people. And one of the reasons that we're having this conversation is because I think that you're such a great asset for so many of our founders. Founders looking to build their businesses, startups looking to figure out, maybe they have an idea, but they're not sure how to get to the next level. And we put together, the Next Gen Chef puts together a robust pool of resources. And I think having you as part of that resource is just such a luxury for them. It's such a win for them, because it's going to give them that great access to tap into themselves in a unique way, not just figuring out, what am I good at doing? How do I get a paycheck every month? How do I pay my bills? But maybe, how do I pay my bills, but also how do I be true to myself, love what I do, wake up every day excited about it, have an impact on the world.
Absolutely. I'd love to share. You asked me how the impact coaching program, how it helps founders, and some of the examples of that from current clients. Definitely. You know, the biggest thing I think that holds people back is when you're looking to launch a new business, or even you've launched a business and then you want to take it to the next level. It's really about having the clarity on that number one part of you that is most unique, and then having a roadmap to follow to actually build your success. So that's what my system really, really teaches you. And that's the biggest benefit that people experience, is having that absolute clarity on what to focus about themselves that's most unique, and how to build their brand, their positioning statement, their whole business around that unique quality.
Wonderful. Sarah, we're just going to take a short break while we have a little advertisement from our sponsor today. And then I want to thank today's sponsor, Next Gen Chef. Next Gen Chef feeds members with the knowledge and tools that they need to create concepts with purpose and succeed. If you're listening today, they are offering a 1-year subscription for any new founder that wants to participate at a special discounted rate. For more information, email team@nextgenchef.com. If you're interested in becoming a member or just a part of the community, email NextGenChef at team@nextgenchef.com. You can also follow them on Instagram at NextGenChef, as well as on LinkedIn and on Facebook. Thank you again, Next Gen Chef, for making this podcast possible. Together, we can change the future of food. Thank you, Sarah, for just taking a moment here. I really appreciate you sharing that, because one of the things that I wanted to share from that was that a lot of times I think people, when they're trying to figure out what they want to do and they have this vision, they're visionaries and they have all these different ideas and they don't know how to funnel it down to figure out what that revenue stream is or where to focus. And it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this framework that you're creating or that you've created will allow them to figure out how to dial into their vision and really make it a scalable, functioning business that will allow them to tap into their purpose-driven idea and build a scalable company. Because I go back to that first conversation where you and I had a conversation, the first talk that we had, and we had a conversation about how money was really important to it as well, and how people need to make money, and how I really loved when you were talking, and I'm going to botch this all up, but where you said you had one client and she came to you and said all these reasons why she wasn't going to make the financial results that she had put on her calendar for that week. And you're like, no, I'm sorry, no, you need to make that. And I love that because it brings people back to that point where they have to realize that they have their vision, and where from that center point are they going to focus to be able to continue and figure out where that revenue stream is going to come and how they're going to be able to build it. And that's what you're giving them, which is, as a founder myself, like, I get that. That's so important because we have all these ideas and I'm excited about them all the time.
But it's about money at the end of the day,
right?
Because you want to build a sustainable business. You want to enjoy what you're doing and you want to grow from it. You want to see all your hard work paying off. And the way to actually make that money is to set goals and have financial goals, and then build an actual roadmap that goes, how am I going to sell? Who am I going to sell to? And what's my process for doing that? And what's my time frame for doing that? So through the process that we coach around, it actually teaches you that as well. So you set goals for 2 months, 6 months, 12 months, 3 years. So you really got a roadmap of where you're going. And then it's like, okay, brainstorm, how are you going to sell next week, and who are you going to sell to, who are your dream clients, and how are you going to go out and make connections with them, which is where the real brand story comes into it. So basically you're learning like 2 roads through this coaching process at the same time. You're learning like the who you are as a brand, what makes you unique, what's, I guess, all the touchy-feely stuff, then with the hard-nosed business frameworks underneath. What's your financial goals and what's your plan, and how you're going to make those direct connections and those digital connections that are going to make you money. Because I see so many founders saying, I'm doing it for the love of doing this. And I'm like, no, you've got to do it for the money that you really want to make out of it. And that's where the real exciting part for me comes about seeing the success of my clients grow and be profitable through this process.
And I think it's really what you're doing is it's a unique offering, because so many coaches are just, you know, do what you love, and it's more about the touchy feely. And when you deal with the financial people, it's more about, is this viable and scalable? But there's nobody that I know that's really connecting the dots on both. And I love that, because it allows me to honor what I'm really passionate about, but really be, you know, thoughtful about, okay, this really does need to be, I do need to scale this. So how do I take my vision and make this a viable business? I want both, and it's possible.
I'm excited because I'm sorry to jump in, because I love, like, I see founders, they're so creative, and yet when it comes to analysis and like finance, because I've been there myself, is why I'm able to teach this, is you become very overwhelmed and you go, I don't understand, I don't understand social media. I don't understand like how to digital. I don't understand marketing, or I don't understand like I don't know what my numbers are. So many founders, I say, how much money did you make last year? What were your key best-selling product lines? And and go and analyze your business, and they have not looked at their numbers, and then they're shying away from the analytics of, say, their social media. And so what I teach is to actually dive into that and take the fear out of it, because when you look inside your business and you actually analyze what's happened with your numbers, rather than kind of outsourcing it and going, oh, my accountant's dealing with it. Well, here's the news. Your accountant's never actually going to tell you what is actually going on in your business. You've got to take ownership of that and learn it yourself. And the same with marketing. You know, you can outsource it to like a social media person or a company or etc. But again, if you outsource it, you don't learn the skill yourself. So you can't really like grasp it and own it. And this is the biggest lesson I've learned in business to succeed, is to really like get expertise, invest in expertise. When I started to invest in outside experts, my success just went through the roof. So when you actually invest into that expertise, but you learn it yourself, then that's where you really begin to succeed at a new, much deeper level, because you've got the full awareness of your business and you're fully empowered on how to build your success as you've learned it.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think, you know, just to clarify for our listeners, you're not necessarily saying that they need to do all the social media and everything. They just need to have an active role in it. They need to, you know, not just hand it off, but, you know, if you're going to have somebody do it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but have them circle back with you and tell you what the findings are. What's working, what's not, what are you finding, so that you guys can, am I correct? Is this what you're saying? Or are you saying that we should all do it ourselves?
I would still.
Are you saying I go on and do my own social media?
I think you can. Yeah, I really would say do it yourself, because,
okay, all righty.
For example, right now I'm launching a new website. So I could have. This has been a really scary thing for me. Scary as in outside of my comfort zone. I haven't understood it. I didn't know what to do. And now what I did is I really wanted, because I know now your success happens when you understand the thing yourself. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to co-create that website with a developer at the same time. And this again has been awesome experience, because it's enabled me to do it really, like, I wouldn't dream of trying to do it myself. Now, but doing it with someone, it means that I'm learning and they're teaching me all about how the back end of a website works, so that if I need to, I can make those changes. But, or even more importantly, when you've got your team there, you can actually tell the team, and show them how to do it. So if you outsource it, you can never lead your team in the way that you want to lead them, because you don't fully understand your own systems. When you actually learn the system yourself and you've seen how this post reacts with people, how they connect with those words that you say, etc., in your business, then you can lead your team on what to do.
So I think that that's super helpful, because I've often, when I was talking about social media, I co-create it with my people as well. I often do a lot of it myself because I'm out there and I wanted to have my voice. But there are times and places where we need to promote events and talks and stuff, and you need to have the support so I can go off and do something else. But it is very much co-created, like you said, because if I don't know how to do it, I can't go in there and do things when the ball drops, so to speak. But before this, I ran a gaming company, and there was a whole lot of technology and coding and all sorts of things I knew nothing about. And frankly, I did not want to learn how to code. And that was not anything I wanted any part of. But we did have a hit by the bus plan, and we did have a wiki to learn how to turn on and off the systems, to reboot, like a little key. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is not because it directly relates, but because there are things that we're not ever going to be able to do, right? There are things, but there are tools and ways for us to be able to participate in them so that we're not giving over the keys to the kingdom. Are there any recommendations you might have for things like that, so that we're making sure that we're locked and we're safe there and that we're participatory? Do you know what I mean? So for example, like when I ran this gaming company, I did not know how to code, right? You don't know how to do a website, but you're co-creating the website. There's things in technology that we don't necessarily. Okay, so understand where I'm going with this. Okay.
Yeah. In terms of I think in your business, when you understand each element of how the different parts of the business operates from the top line, so that's when you get control over your business, and that's when you're really empowered both to lead your business, to organize your business, and to plan your business. So like knowing how a website operates, you don't need to understand the code or how to build the thing, but just how it operates. And like, so then you can teach your team, okay, please can you go in and customize that page, tweak that, do that. They understand it. Finance, knowing what's driving the success of your business, what actually is making you money. This is a big one, because what I see people doing over and over again is developing products. So this is a big part of what I teach. It's not over developing of the products, it's simplifying the products that you have. So people tend to develop 30 products or 100 products or even 10. And I say, go and look at what's making you money. What is making you money? Analyze it to see what's making you the most profit. And it's always 1 to 2 or maybe 3 hero products, never more. And so what I teach is how you build that hero product strategy into a direct to consumer strategy that's actually going to, again, build your success.
I love that. And I'm super excited because I know that you're going to come on for a lunch and learn soon to Next Gen Chat and be able to give everybody a little bit more of an idea of what it is to go through that process with you and learn a little bit about that in a short form, if you will, so that they can start to build their businesses and understand what building a hero product is. So I'm just curious, as you're doing this for yourself and for these other businesses, you've been doing this now for 15 years for yourself. And what are you looking at now as you are building your business? What are some of the things that you're looking to grow and expand on to continue to grow your business?
I'm really, really, really excited about the world and, you know, the positives that have arisen from COVID. It has really speeded up the onset of our digital world. And I think that that brings huge possibilities for businesses to scale in all sorts of ways much faster than they ever knew before. So that's what I'm applying to my business personally, because, you know, as well as when I'm teaching and sharing my knowledge, I'm learning and learning more so that I can share more all the time. And I think that this is what's most exciting right now, because in terms of going digital and going direct to consumer, there's methodologies, again, that I share and coach and teach, but there's proven ways to do things. So the opportunity is finding roadmaps and learning from experts, the proven ways of doing things, so that you actually can shortcut your own time to success.
Right, and you shared some of those actually. You shared part of the roadmaps with people so that they can get excited about that. And so you were talking about the impact of COVID and how this has shaped the, you know, the environment for digital. And so how has it shaped what you're building and your ability to grow in terms of your planning for the future? Have you changed anything that you're offering now? Has it changed your platform and your products, or your connection, your way to connect with people?
I think the COVID, having COVID gives us the ability to focus. So how it's changed me is just, it's sort of 10x my focus, because there's no time being lost in terms of going to a meeting, sitting down in front of that person, not necessarily knowing if they're the right fit in terms of a business relationship. Being digital means that we can just schedule in those meetings, research the people that we want to research and connect with, and then really speed up that process. And then going social, which is something that I've been doing with my businesses for years. Again, this is something that has such huge opportunities to learn, because people want social and they want it in a particular way, which is all about being real. And so all of these skill sets, the digital, the social, being real, building power networks, which is what I call it, and teach, it gives you these huge opportunities and foundations to grow quick. And I'm applying everything I teach, I'm also applying to my own businesses.
So you'd say that this has been a positive thing in terms of business for you. You're
100%.
really allowed you to sort of sit down, hone in on what you're doing, not give you any time to sort of be distracted or procrastinate. You're really focused and you're able to work one-on-one with people.
And in groups, 100%. I think that, I believe in turning everything in life into a positive. Mm-hmm. So suddenly, when do we get the time to actually sit down and do things properly? And COVID has given us that time to sit down, understand things properly, and make the proper roadmaps for success that we want.
Wonderful. So right now we're talking about, we're going to be having you join us at a lunch and learn coming up in the next couple of months for Next Gen Chef. And in the meantime, we will be launching this podcast in the next few weeks. And for our listeners, I'd love to just have them hear from you where they might be able to find you, and if there's a special offer that you want to make to them.
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram at Sara Simmonds London. And also my new website, which I'm just finishing, will be launching in the next couple of weeks. So I'm sure by the time that this podcast is live, then my website will have launched, which is sarasimmonds.com. And in terms of the offer, yes, of course, I would love to offer your listeners a very special price and offering for the coaching program that we do. So that coaching program is an 8-week coaching program, and it's all done live on Zoom in individuals and small groups. And so when you come to the Lunch and Learn, then I'm going to reveal that special offer that's specifically for you guys.
Wonderful. Well, if you like this podcast, subscribe to the Essential Ingredients channel. We will have lots of other talks like this. You can find out more about Next Gen Chef at the Next Gen Chef website. Sara, we invite you to join us there as well to be part of the community and connect with our other members there. You can upload your profile and picture, and all of our listeners can as well, and they can connect with you one-on-one there as well. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you, Sara, for joining us. And we look forward to continuing the conversation at our Lunch and Learn and having many more conversations to come. Before we leave, would you share with us, please, the impact you hope to have on the future of food and sustainability?
Yeah, I think that, the future of food and sustainability is all centered around innovation. So it's around innovating products and regenerating how we operate and doing things in new ways. And the impact I want to have is to enable and empower people to get there faster, with clarity and with the right roadmaps to enable their success. So my goal is everybody's success. And I've been in the area of sustainability for 15 years to learn all the ways not to do it so that I can empower you on the ways to do it super quickly.
Wonderful, Sara. I'm so excited about this. And the next conversation I hope we can have is about building sustainability, not just for our business, but for our personal life. Because I believe that if we can have a sustainable personal life, we can also have a sustainable business life, and they go hand in hand. So I hope we can continue that conversation. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you, Sara, for joining us.